check. There we go.
Are we working
Oh
now?
my gosh.
Are
Wow, you almost heard Mark swear.
Are you sure we've got audio now? Everybody can hear us?
Let's see. Let's see if we got audio. Can you please let us know if you can hear us? No sound yet.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, we might have audio. Yay! Okay.
Hey, all right. I was trying to entertain everybody while you figured it out. I was like, making faces.
Wow. Okay. Hey, Maniacs. We're here. 7 minutes. 8 minutes late.
Oh my
my
gosh.
gosh.
You know what? I think everybody's going to be okay with 8 minutes.
Oh.
Oops. We gave him time to go get a drink or something.
No, this was my problem. I fixed it. I figured it out. It was not YouTube. But, are we loud enough? Everybody can hear us okay?
So there's a delay, and I pulled up my laptop, so now I'm watching myself make funny faces at myself. I'm closing this. I can't. Hey, Maniacs.
There we go.
Welcome to Mystery Maniacs, Tea with the Maniacs, our unofficial 200th episode.
I'm telling you, I'm a maniac today. I was about to say, I cannot believe it, that our neighbor started mowing the lawn 25 feet that way.
Right before 4 o'clock.
Right before 4 o'clock.
You haven't done the Mystery Maniacs intro. It's on your shirt, but...
Welcome to Mystery Maniacs, the
comedy recap podcast.
Where we take an episode each week and look at the murders, the mayhem, the loonies, and everything else we love. But not this week.
This week is a special week.
We're going to put under the microscope the maniacs themselves.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. We've been looking forward to this all week. This is super fun. Now that we have audio, we're really excited.
Yeah. Turn us up just a little bit so that we're at a good level. So
some of you have been here since the beginning. I can't believe. How long have we been doing this podcast? 4 years?
4 years, 8 months. No, 4 years. Oh man, I am all flustered. 4 years, 8 months, and 30 days.
Wow.
Which is 231 published episodes. So we have been providing for these fine people 4.1 episodes a month. We do more than an episode a week.
On average.
On average, which is insane.
It is insane.
Over 4 years. It's like, and I'm always thinking we take so much time off. Apparently, we don't take any time off at all.
You know, what's funny is I was looking back at some of our earlier episodes, and it blows my mind. So we record, right? We sit right here and we record, and we always have fun, and we laugh, and we joke sometimes about, oh, there's the title of the episode, there's the title of the episode. But then I look back at the titles, and some of them don't even make sense to me. Like, I can't even remember why did we call it that? What did we talk about that made that title make sense?
So we have a little quiz for you.
So before we start, we're going to admit that we cannot remember what we were talking about. We see these titles. So let's see if some of you can.
It's funny. I said to Sarah the other night, I'll challenge you because I wrote these because I write all the episode titles. So I should know them. And then Sarah took my phone and was like, what about this one? What about this one? I'm like, yeah, I have no idea. So what is the following? Episode number 6.
Oh, going way back. So it's Midsummer.
Yep.
Sure.
These are all Midsummar. I picked 3 Midsummers.
Okay.
Worst Dr. Coward ever, Missing Scimitars, and Orange Shirts.
Well, you've given us a clue by saying it's episode 6. So we
Yes.
know it's in season 1.
Yep.
And, excuse me, a missing scimitar.
Scimitars.
Is that the one where Richard Pryor cuts the guy's head off? with
It
the-
is indeed Death Shadow, season 2, episode
Hey.
6.
Okay, but that's an easy one.
It is.
That's an easy one.
How about this one? Okay. I get close to the mic here.
Mm.
Justin's big, yellow, shy, and nervous balls.
Justin and balls. Oh, I have no idea. Maybe maybe one of you can guess which Midsummer that is. I can't.
We'll give folks just a few more minutes. I would.
Justin's big, nervous, and shy balls.
They're both shy and nervous
And big.
and yellow.
Oh, I forgot the yellow part. Yellow
Yes, Heather got the first one right.
ball. Okay, I got nothing on this one.
Okay, I'll give you a clue. They're outside of a school.
The balls are outside of a school?
Oh, Julie got it. Julie Eternal got it on the stream, which is yes, and Danielle Warner too.
Okay,
That's
okay, so
Screamy
what is it?
Screamy. It's Nancy Carroll in The Great and the Good. Remember, she's a school teacher and she has this huge discussion with this guy outside of the school, and there are these giant balls in the background.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Give us one
Okay,
more.
one more. This is our episode 41. Hidden. Oh, I gave it away. Sorry. Murder Poetry, Arts and Craft Killer, and Shuddering Squirts of Agony.
Murder, poetry, and shuddering squirts of agony.
Yes. And this is an incredibly well-known episode.
Well, it's got to be Hidden Depths because you already said hidden.
Yep.
You gave part of it away, but I can't figure out why we would have called it that.
So this is the episode in which it begins with the individual falling off the building and ends with murder TV.
But what are the shuddering squirts?
I don't know what the shuddering squirts of agony are. Julie again with Hidden Depths. And Danielle, oh my gosh, Julie and Danielle are on fire.
They can take over the podcast if we get tired. They clearly know what they're doing.
Wow.
It's kind of a fun game if you just go back through some of the titles. Like, you can see the episode title too, so that kind of ruins it. But just trying to remember what part of the show does that refer to? Like, what were we? Big yellow shy, what?
So just to let you into the behind the scenes so that you know, the way I come up with the titles is as I'm editing the episode on Sunday mornings, I listen to things that pop out of the episode.
Okay, be honest. You look at the waveform and look where we're loudest, what we're laughing at hardest at, and you pick it out.
That is usually how I pick out the thing at the beginning. Because there's a part at the beginning, a teaser, and then there's a
music starts.
music
and then,
starts, and then the episode. So those that's how I come up with the names of things, and I've always done it that way. And to me, it's always worked.
And the outtake at the end, after the end music, is always something I've said, oh, there's your outtake, of course. You're going to include that because I sounded really weird saying that.
A couple of things about that. I try to stay away from anything YouTubey or clickbaity. I'm not interested in that. I want people to look at those names of our episodes and go, what are they talking about?
I've seen that episode and I don't know what they're talking about.
I've seen that episode 5 times and I don't know what they're talking about.
Though I do have to tell you guys, here's a little inside baseball. So Mark said he tries to avoid like clickbaity things that might hit the YouTube algorithm or the algorithm anywhere else as like being misleading or hot button topics or whatever. But for the longest time, when we looked at our stats, episode 69 was our, by far, like the most watched episode on YouTube specifically. And we couldn't figure it out.
It was almost eclipsing episode 1.
Yeah. And we're like, is 69 really that funny of a joke?
Like it's a sex number.
Yeah.
So.
Like, why? And then we finally found out, and it hasn't been that long ago, we found out that it was included on a list somewhere, that episode was. And so there was a list.
There was a playlist that had a bunch of the Film Rise episodes on it, the full episodes.
Yeah.
And our episode for that number.
Yes. So we got included in there. And it was driving traffic to that particular episode. And I was like, phew, okay. The internet is not that gross to that extreme. It wasn't that bad. Anyhow.
So a couple of more stats. We have 430,000 downloads of the podcast. That's not including YouTube. YouTube's an additional 288, another 288,000 downloads. So almost 750,000 downloads.
That's crazy.
Which is nutsy bobo.
Thank you.
The watch time on YouTube alone, this is just YouTube for all you YouTube people, is 25,000 hours. Okay, which is 1,058 days, or 2.8 years.
Now,
so
the last time we did this, I made a joke about how much good we could do in the world if we dedicated that much time to doing something, and now it's even more ridiculous what we could be doing. We could have together gotten a 2-year college degree.
Yes, we could have gotten a 2-year college degree.
If we had dedicated
But that's
ourselves.
24 hours a day. We would have gotten an A.
Nobody studies that much. Nobody.
So we have a bunch of questions for you guys, but we overwhelmingly, other than what are you watching? Because I've been doing the what are you watching reels and videos, and people seem to really like those. So the other question that we're getting asked the most right now is, what is our opinion on the Midsummer Maniac? What is our opinion on the Midsummer Murders Mayhem official podcast? And oh boy, we have some stories. So first of all,
we have no hard feelings towards any of those people. They're working very hard.
The people on the show, especially Ashley Story,
she's the one who does the quizzes.
Super hardworking lady.
Oh my gosh, she's so funny.
Absolutely.
So funny. But that aside,
yes.
like
so
saying that we know how hard it is to make a podcast, and it's not even our job.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about whether we make money.
So they put the note out on Facebook, months before things about looking for super fans. And I responded like, we're kind of the super fans,
Hello?
folks.
Yeah.
And I got a form letter back. And I was like, okay, they are in no way interested in us.
Fine.
That's fine.
Totally.
They're doing a different thing. So whatever. So then you guys are the best. Then they posted the same notice on the Reddit board, and oh boy.
Oh, yeah. I was like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. And then all of a sudden, all these messages started coming up going, oh, this is great that you guys are going to do an official podcast. Do you know about this other podcast that's already out there and is really good, and that maybe you should listen to it? Or if Sarah and Mark aren't on it, I'm not going to listen to it.
Yeah, that was the nice ones were, maybe you should talk to Sarah and Mark. The not nice ones were like, why are you doing this without Sarah and Mark?
But to be honest, when I heard about it, I was excited. Like, they're going to be able to get like interviews with people that we cannot reach, that we've tried to reach and we can't. They're going to have like inside scoops. Like, as a fan, I was really stoked about this podcast.
So then we get another email that is
the key
like,
being was excited.
that we get another email that's kind of like, so you guys are kind of a thing. gosh, it was so funny.
Will you do our quiz?
So they asked us to do the super quiz. Now, we offered to do one super quiz.
You screwed me up on that super quiz, though. Okay.
Okay.
So they were communicating with Mark. He monitors our email and all of our social channels, right? Because his job lets him do that during the day, and I'm often like teaching or something, and I just can't at the same time. So they sent a list of episodes. They were kind of random.
Yeah.
Episodes that could be what we would have to do a quiz about. So he sends me the list. He sends me a screenshot of the list, okay? So I studied because some of these episodes we hadn't covered in years.
Yeah.
And I am like really bad at remembering the titles of episodes or like the names of villages. So I am studying because we can't do poorly on this quiz.
No, we're the Maniacs.
So we sit down on the day, get on the call with the host of the quiz part, Ashley, who was awesome. She's very funny. And she says, I'm so excited to have you guys. I'm going to ask you questions about this episode.
And we were like, what?
And I was like, no, you weren't. I was, because he left it off the screenshot. So I hadn't studied that episode. It was that one about the professional soccer team with the fire and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I've seen that episode maybe 3 times. I have no memory of it.
Literally.
I think I might have got 2 out of 10 questions right.
Literally.
Like she was giving us hints after a while. Like,
We had no idea.
we were just sitting there.
And they
like,
were so hard.
crickets.
And I've been listening to the other questions on the podcast. And I'm like, our questions were harder.
much harder.
So anyway, we did that. Sarah went back to work, and then they called me kind of in a rush saying, can you do this a couple more times today?
Yes.
So I did 4 quizzes.
I did 2. Luckily, the second one was about an episode I actually remembered. You did 4.
Thankfully, it was completely awesome that everyone that I went against was like, oh, I'm a listener of the Maniac.
Which is why I think none of our trivia will make it to the episode.
I don't think any of our episodes are going to make it.
And none of our trivia matches, unless they play the first one that we did where I couldn't remember anything about the episode just to make us sound like idiots. Because man, did I sound like an idiot. I'm like, is that a Midsummer? Are you sure? I don't know what you're talking about. What?
So I did 4 of them. I doubt we're going to hear the light of day at all for us. I don't think that that's going to happen, but we did our best. You might want to move a little closer to the mic, baby.
Sure.
People said that you're a little soft, so.
Bottom line is, like, I was really excited about it. What they're doing seems kind of corporate, I guess, is the best way I can describe it. It's kind of it's just like a recap.
I just don't know what they're planning.
No.
Like, I don't know what
I
is
wanted it to be
their
more fun
goal of this activity.
Yeah.
Like, if they wanted to build community, it's not building community. And if they wanted to, like, sell more Midsummers, like, if you've noticed, every time they post, there's people in Britain, and we hear you, people in Britain. There's people in Britain who are going, why aren't you talking about the new episodes? Why aren't you releasing the new episodes? We are 2 years behind America.
Yeah.
And like, it's funny, they showed an episode 2 weeks ago in England on Sunday night, and I was a little worried that we were going to do this on Sunday night in England and be up against Midsummer. And I didn't want that. But oh no, ITV came through and completely played one episode and then said, Midsummer? What Midsummer?
You would expect that once they start releasing them every week, they would release a new one over there, but they just didn't. I don't know why they didn't. We've seen them. They exist. I don't know.
I don't understand it. I don't know why they pop around. And then I don't
even go in order. You don't have to cover every episode, but at least go in order.
I don't know why they pop around. And then I don't know why they say they're a spoiler podcast. And then they tease that they know who the murderer is after they've told you that you should go watch the episode.
Yes.
And to top it all off, one last thing. This week, they put on their social medias, especially Instagram, pictures with actors with their heads clipped off in the pictures.
They didn't
Like,
cut their heads off. They just cropped the photos so their heads weren't
well,
in
no,
it.
Instagram automatically cropped the photos so because of their size. Like, they're not even aware of what size the Instagram picture should be.
Social media is hard, Mark. It's hard.
Okay, if Old Man Bell could do it, anybody can do it.
So that's how we feel about it. A lot of people were asking us because they heard my little rant, my little joke rant in the remix a few weeks ago. That was...
People were like, "Can you release that?"
It was
like,
it was a joke, but it was sincere at the same time. That's how we feel about it.
we wish them all the best.
Absolutely. We just wish it was better.
We just wish we knew what they were doing.
So I have a list of all the questions that we got from you guys via Reddit and email and Instagram and everywhere else.
By the way, Mrs. We're only going an hour today. We're already half an hour.
I know. So we're going to answer some of the questions that you've already sent in, but Mark is watching the chat. So if you have a follow-up question or a related question, or you didn't send your question in and you want it answered, he's going to pay attention to that.
I'm going to move our order up first because poor Flick Foster needs to go to bed.
Okay.
Because she's a mom of a small child and she had a question about children.
Oh.
So we want to get that asked right away.
Okay.
So that Flick could go to bed.
Okay. What's Flick's question?
About the triplets, how it was raising the triplets as a mom.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, I don't remember a lot of it. It's just like, phew. Assembly line. That's the best thing I can say about raising triplets, especially when they were babies, is that you just do everything 3 times and hope that you remember which one you did it to. Like, no joke. When they were first born and they were home and I had to feed them in the middle of the night, I did not breastfeed. I had more babies than boobs. You just can't do it. They were bottle fed. And I had a marker and I would put a dot on the bottom of their foot after I fed them so that I knew, okay, I've fed that one. I've not fed that one.
There were
Otherwise, I was so sleep-addled and deprived that I might have screwed it up.
There were periods of time, especially when they're under 10, where we're get up, get dressed, feed them, clean up, feed them, clean up, feed them, clean up, go to bed. That was Saturday.
Yes. In the middle, tell them no, put a couple on the naughty mat for doing something, and then go to bed again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was never boring.
No.
I'll tell you that. And 2 of the 3 are about to graduate from college. So it is possible to survive.
Yes.
With 1, with 3, with whatever. Frankly, I was relieved when I found out I was having triplets that I wasn't having more than 3 because I had taken all this medication to get pregnant, and it was the time of the Octomom. So the fact that I was only having 3 and they considered that to be a safe number to have, I was relieved. But I was on bed rest from 9/11/2001 until Thanksgiving. So I watched the towers fall before I went to a doctor's appointment on 9/11. And when I got there, at the hospital for the doctor's appointment, they said, you can't leave. And I was there until after Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And during that time, they had me on real good drugs. I don't really remember much of it.
And what's weird is I didn't know Sarah at this point in time, but I drove by that hospital every single day.
Yep. And then somebody else asked about when we met. And I have to, it just kind of tease in because we met and we had kind of gone out and did stuff together. And then it was like, okay, we're both parents. So we're going to have to meet each other's kids. And you don't do that lightly, right? But we had kids almost identical ages.
Yeah.
But you just had 1 and I had 3.
Yes.
And I was thinking, this guy is great. He is so great. I really, really like him. But he has to know what he's in for because there's 3 of them and there's always going to be 3 of them. And so I was like, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. And I said, let's meet at the Children's Museum. You bring yours, I'll bring mine, and we'll have fun. We'll have a kid date.
Yep.
And I literally had my children on leashes because there were 3 of them.
There's more of them than us.
Yeah. So they had those harnesses on with the leashes on because they were maybe 3, 4 sort of age, 3. And I thought, I can't take them all someplace like that without them. And Mark and his perfectly well-behaved child are just hanging out in the museum where we are supposed to meet. And here I come with 3 kids on leashes. They're like a dog on a leash. They're going around me. They're tangling up around my legs. I'm like trying to untangle them. They're tied to each other. My hair is like, like I've got water bottles and snacks and stuff everywhere, like tucked into my pockets and all this stuff. And all 3 of them are like, like little crack addicts. And I just remember seeing you and thinking, I hope we have fun because this is the last time he's ever going to want to see me. This is going to be it. All. And no. You looked up and you smiled and you came over and you said, I'll take one of them.
Yep.
It might be okay. It might be okay.
And now we have 3 graduating
from college.
One has a job in Seattle. One's going to grad school. One's staying at home. And then we have 1 more to graduate next year.
Yeah. We survived it. And we've spent the last 4 years making a crazy podcast. So that answers that question. We have a ton of questions about our favorite characters, episodes, all that stuff. You ready for that?
Yep.
Okay. So Kelly H.
Oh, Jessica says I'm a keeper.
You are a keeper. I got really lucky that you didn't. I thought you might run away. And if you had, I wouldn't have held it against you. If you saw me coming with all 3 of them and you went like, bye, and took off, I would have been like, hey, I tried.
The answer to Heather Coe's question that she just asked is, would you like a dog? We have a dog. Would you like her?
Olive is something else.
Wow, that dog.
Okay, so we've been asked, what is our favorite season of Midsummer? Do you have a favorite?
I really like the first season with Jones. I really like Jones a lot, and I like him taking over. I don't like the House in the Woods episode because, as we mentioned, they kind of just forget who the killer is, sort of maybe whoop.
Let him go.
And I don't like that episode, but I like the other episodes with Jones. I really like Jones.
So my favorite season is season 8 because it's the one that it starts out with the episode with the Undertaker who gets killed and his wife runs out of the funeral home going,
eats her fist, remember?
Oh, yeah. But it also has the Trebuchet wine episode. That's Hidden Depths. And it has Second Sight in it with the psychic and the kid in the Faraday cage and all that. But it has Sauce for the Goose in it too, with Dexter and the bottle sanitizer. There's just an Orcus Fatalis is in that season. So if I had to choose, I would choose season 8. Okay. Another question that we got. Double Agio, I'm going to say. Double Agio emailed us to say, which of the sergeants from Midsummer do you think would be the best sidekick for Poirot?
Ooh, crossover.
And which would be the worst?
Well, the worst is Troy, because Poirot and Troy would not get along.
I would pay to watch that show. To see Troy with his middle part and Poirot.
Poirot would want to be fixing him all the time like he is with...
Oh, I don't know. I don't think Troy would come across as fixable to Poirot. Like he's not a project. Abandon him, you know? Troy would be saying racist stuff. Oh my gosh. If Troy drove...
Oh, no.
With Poirot...
Poirot would just get out of the car.
He would just jump out, I think.
That would be it.
The best sergeant from Midsummer to work with Poirot, I think, would be Jones.
I think so,
He's
too.
the most capable.
Yep.
He's classy.
Yep.
So I
Knows
don't
how
think
to dress.
he wouldn't embarrass Poirot.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick, that's who I would pick.
Danielle asked if you baked cookies yet today. No, there are 8 dozen yet to be baked.
They're ready to go in the oven, but they're chilling in the fridge.
Yeah. So on a day we did a live stream, we decided to pick up groceries, order a $4,000 couch, and do a live stream with no audio and bake cookies.
And make dinner and
Make
finish
dinner,
grading.
all that grading, and get kids through school.
Okay, you ready for another fun question?
Yes.
Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Of all the shows that have been compared to Midsummer, do you have a top 3 that you feel come close to the atmosphere and the tone of the show? And this is from Kelly H104.
Yes.
What are your top 3 nearly Midsummer shows?
For me, I got to start with Brokenwood, because I think Brokenwood is Midsummer in New Zealand, and I know you might think this is weird. I kind of relate to the main character.
You like Shepherd?
I really like Shepherd. Then I would say shows like that. I really like Dr. T. I know that it's quirky and there's some sort of heavier stuff, but I like it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of it, I would say maybe McDonald and Dodds. Is that the name of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, McDonald and Dodds. Because I like that location.
That's
and
the one in Bath, right?
Yeah, I like how they solve the episodes.
That's funny because I have 3 completely different ones
Yeah,
that I
that's
think are close to
fantastic.
Midsummer.
Yeah.
So my top choice is Chelsea Detective, which has Adrian Scarborough in it. He's the red-haired guy who played the bell ringer in Midsummer, the crazy gambling bell ringer. I just think that he is close to a Barnaby-type detective. I like that he lives on a boat. It's not overly serious. My second choice would be Deadlock, which is set in Tasmania. I don't know if you guys have seen Deadlock. It's Loch, like a river, like a lake, Deadlock.
It is fantastic if you've seen it.
The reason why I think it's like Midsummer is that the town that it's set in is insane.
It is insane and has some of the best foul-mouthed lesbians ever.
Yes. And they're not foul-mouthed because they're lesbians. They just happen to be foul-mouthed. But the town it's set in is crazy. Everybody is weird and quirky to the absolute max. The only thing I say that is different from it is that it doesn't really have like one case per episode. It's
one big case.
It's one big case for the whole season. But I didn't care watching it. I liked it so much, and the town is just so funny. And then
Nocturnal Druid agrees with us.
Yes, and then my third choice is Agatha Raisin, because it's not silly. It's not, well, it is silly. It's not Murder, She Wrote silly, but it's light and it's set in a little villagey kind of place, and the crimes are funny or interesting or quirky. No gore. It's cozy. So those are my 3 choices.
Ermi Rose also likes foul-mouthed lesbians.
It's great. If you haven't seen Deadlock, I think the 2nd season is going to be coming out soon. It's in Tasmania, which is interesting. It's not New Zealand or Australia. There's a lot of things about it I didn't understand that I had to look up, and I learned a lot about Tasmania. Okay, so another question. Which, if all the inspectors from all of the shows that we've covered solved a case at the same time, which of them would finish it first? So we've got Tom Barnaby, John Barnaby, Jap, Murdoch, Mike Shepard, Valentine Sullivan, and Mallory from Father Brown.
That's all the inspectors.
Those are the inspectors.
Yes. So you went only inspectors, not detectives.
That's what the question is. If all the inspectors had to solve a case.
I think Jap and John. No, I think Jap and Tom Barnaby would get along really well and maybe solve it together quickly.
See, I don't think Jap would solve it quickly because I don't think Jap solves many cases without Poirot. I don't know what he does when Poirot's not around. He's competent,
Yeah.
but I chose Mike Shepard from Brokenwood.
Yeah, I can see Mike Shepard.
I think he could work efficiently even if he had to work on his own. I think he'd solve the case pretty quickly. I don't think any of the ones from Father Brown would even figure it out. They would just go, you did it. I'm going to arrest you. Padre. Yeah. You're the first person I saw, so you're guilty. What's your favorite episode of A Cozy Mystery?
Oh,
this is from Rick Kerr.
We forgot Murdoch in there. Or did you mention Murdoch?
I mentioned Murdoch.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite episode of A Cozy? There's a couple. I really like the Poirot where they go to the hunting lodge. I'm not sure the name of it off the top of my head.
The one where he sits on his little...
He sits on his
little cane with a seat on top of it.
It has a school teacher who doesn't know what's going on. It has a little seat with Poirot. Poirot gets a cold.
Yes.
And it has an interesting mystery that the first time you see it, you're like, I don't know what's going on here.
I can't choose that as one of my favorites because anything with a shooting party in it makes me so incredibly nervous.
Well, you're supposed to be nervous because the bumbling school teacher does it wrong.
He does aim his gun at people and goofs around. So that's your...
When you have less gun sense than Hastings.
Hastings was in the military. He knows about guns.
That's true.
That may be his savant knowledge. That's the only thing he knows about is guns and cars. So is that your favorite Poirot?
So that's probably one of my favorite Poirots, as well as I really like the Marple Nemesis.
Nemesis is my favorite.
I like that.
Marple too.
Marple a lot.
My favorite Poirot has got to be Halloween Party.
Oh, Halloween Party.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It is so well done. The TV version of it is so well done. And the story is good too. To read it, it's good. But I love the aesthetics of that episode. And Julian Ryan Tutt as the weird gardener, and it's just creepy and awesome.
When they meet on the train on the way there, it is some of the best acting the whole show has.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's your favorite Midsummer?
I always like the Midsummer with the killer who kills the postman and kills the accountant and listens to the music. That episode, I forget. Dark Harvest, I think, is the name of it.
I think you're right. Yeah.
That's my favorite Midsummer. What's your favorite Midsummer?
Oh, no question. Electric Vendetta.
Yes.
No question.
Electric Vendetta is fantastic.
Bin Man! It's got Bin Man and UFOs and the best corpse actor naked body.
If you're new,
and crop circles. It's got everything.
If you're new to the show,
duels.
I've seen some people who said they're just new to the show and you haven't gotten to that episode yet. We make a song out of
We do. Because Troy yells out the window because they're locked in a room that is electrified.
Yes.
Jones and Troy are, and they see the trash man and they try to get his attention so that he can let them out. But he's listening to a Walkman. It's that old.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't notice them. And Troy's yelling, Bin Man! Bin Man! And then we made a song about Bin Man.
Made a song out of it.
Yeah, no question. Not even another episode comes close. Electric Vendetta is my favorite.
Yeah, that is such a good episode.
Do you have a single favorite detective of all shows you've covered? Now, I'm going to change this question a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to say, of all the detectives, not inspectors necessarily, the detectives, who would you rather take a road trip with?
Oh, a road trip? Okay.
Who do you want to be stuck in a car with?
I think me and Murdoch would get along really well because I think we geek out about things. But I don't think Poirot would like me. I don't think.
Why not?
I think he'd think I was too messy and chaotic.
So I couldn't decide between two. My first choice was Murdoch. only because he'd be like, wow, what is this? It's a car. Whoa, what is that? It's a radio. Whoa, what is that? What is that phone with that little screen? How can you, what's a computer? What is that thing in your hand? Like, it would, like, just snacks would amaze him. It would be so much fun. But my serious answer is Tom Barnaby, because I think it would be like taking a road trip with my dad.
Yeah, I can see
Not
that.
my dad specifically, but a dad that I would like. I think he'd be fun. And I would trust him to drive while I slept. I would not trust any of the other detectives to drive while I slept.
So 2 comments. One, Nocturnal Druid, who has been a YouTube fan from the very beginning, and a fan from the very beginning, and absolutely
We appreciate you a lot.
appreciate you a lot, has 2 episodes, which are The Green Man and The Sleeper Under the Hill, and I'm like,
Of course.
of course. Somebody suggested Mike Shepard's car for that. Yeah, that was Irma Rose. Mike in his car.
Yeah.
That would be, he'd listen to the country music and I'd be okay with that.
I would lose my mind having to listen to his music. All right.
Okay.
We've got one more for you here.
One more content question.
One more show question. Of all of the sidekicks, all of the secondary characters in Poirot,
Yes.
which is your favorite?
Okay.
So
I
Jap,
love-
Hastings, Miss Lemon.
I love all those, but I want a show which is all the secondary characters in Poirot. This is the detective novel I want to write. The Poirot is gone and all these secondary characters have come together, which includes Jap Hastings and Mrs. Lemon. But my favorite is the woman from the Triangle at Rhodes episode who shows up later in another episode.
The little red-haired lady
the
with the
little-
red leather gloves
with
that
the
are so
red
cool.
leather gloves.
What's her name?
I forget, but I love how nosy she is. She is the antithesis of Miss Marple, and I like that Poirot likes her.
I do too. And he really does like her.
Yes, he does.
And she's so gossipy.
She's gossipy but smart.
But I think she gives him permission to be gossipy too, and he likes that. By far, like, again, no even close second for me is Ariadne Oliver. Like, Ariadne is it.
Yeah.
I would watch a show just with Zoe Wanamaker playing Ariadne.
Plus, is anyone other than Zoe Wanamaker Ariadne?
No, not in my mind.
No.
When she talks about her books and how her detective annoys her, and she's at the Halloween party, and just there's an episode of Poirot, and I'm spacing the name now. I'm so bad at names. But there's a Poirot story where Ariadne has been invited to this country house party, and she's there to host a murder mystery.
Yes.
And then
is that the one with the Swedish tourists?
I think so.
Yeah.
The girl who's supposed to be the victim in the mystery actually gets killed.
I think so.
And she's legitimately upset about it, and yet just keeps on eating those apples. Like, she's always eating apples. Nothing stops her. I just think in the books, she's awesome. In the show with David Suchet with Zoe Wanamaker, she's even better. Like, she's just my favorite. And her clothes are fantastic.
In the new movie that has Ariadne in it, I was like, was Zoe Wanamaker busy?
Yeah, who played? It's an American.
It's
What's her face with the glasses and?
Yeah, I don't remember her name off the top
I'm
of my head.
spacing it too.
And she was okay. I didn't like how
She wasn't Ariadne. She was a fine character. If they had called her
something else.
Josie, she would have been fine.
Yes.
I wouldn't have cared. But they called her Ariadne, and she's not.
Yes, Jessica.
That's Murder in Venice.
Jessica mentions a great Ariadne line where she asks, "Did you redecorate?" And Poirot says, "I moved."
I moved, yes.
Tina Fey. That's right.
That's it. Thank you.
Yes.
That was going to bug me. Okay. Let's see. People want to know
Do you want a time check?
No, I don't want to know. We're going to ask a couple of these. People want to know if we've always watched TV like Maniacs. Have we always watched shows like we watch them for the podcast?
For me, most definitely. As soon as I got a VCR, I was stopping it, looking at stuff, especially because we were really into special effects and films when I was in high school.
Nerd.
And so I spent a lot of time watching things, trying to figure out how they got filmed and how it was made, because we didn't have YouTube where you could go on and go like, how was this scene filmed? You had to figure it out by yourself. And I'm not saying that YouTube's bad. I'm saying the head start that people have now is fantastic.
Yeah. I have to say, I agree. I've always watched mystery shows specifically like I watch for Maniacs, because I thought if I paid attention to what was going on in the background, I might be able to solve it, right? So I started watching like Agatha Christie, Marple, that kind of stuff when it was on PBS when I was little, like a kid. And we had a TV guide back then. And so you could go through the TV guide and you could mark when it was going to play again. So I could watch it more than once, because my mom had read every Agatha Christie. And I thought, I got to be smart. I got to figure this out. So even as like a little kid, I was watching like that. But now that I can pause it and rewind it anytime I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when, like,
not the first time I watch it. The first time I let a new Midsummer, I let it wash over me. I don't watch it like that.
I was
the second time, yeah.
I was in high school and we read, and then there were none, and I read it that night because I read really fast, and I was like, wait a minute, this Christie lady's kind of good. So I read the rest of the books over the next like 2.5 weeks. And I remember the teacher talking about, well, we can't say who the killer is. I'm like, well, there is none. And I was like, oh, sorry.
Oh, spoiler child. You ruined it for everybody.
Totally spoiler child. And then I was like, welcome to my podcast about grade 10 English. Somebody asked if I was into print material way back then. Always into print stuff, always into audio. I wanted to have a radio show as soon as I could. So
we both had radio shows in college.
Yeah, we both had radio shows in college. So the fact that I'm doing this is like I've said several times before. If I talked to 17-year-old Mark and said, you're making comic books, you're married to a kick-ass woman, and you do a radio show every week with her about television, I would have been like, you're good, dude.
Sign me up. When do I get there? Yeah, so we are not annoying to watch TV with.
No.
We know how to just watch TV, but when it's just the two of us, there's a whole lot of pausing and running up to the TV. No matter what we're watching, we do that.
We're
maniacs.
We also have 3 lovely children who live with us, who always wait to interrupt us when we're watching something new.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's when somebody has a breakdown.
Hi, guys. Can we talk about existential dread? No! It's a new Midsummer!
Go away! Here's a good one. Somebody says that we seem like a really healthy couple. Do we have any advice?
We just got called cutest also, so
we are the cutest. The first marriage is a gimme.
Yeah.
It's practice.
I've turned friends off by saying that, but yeah, first one's a gimme.
Hey, if it's not a gimme, if it's a good one, great for you. If not, don't sweat it. My advice would be,
and we get along with our exes.
Oh, yeah. Great.
My ex is going to be in town all week. So.
Yeah. Mine comes here once a week and just hangs out. So, yeah, it's good. We never go to bed apart. We always go to bed at the same time.
Always go to bed
unless
together. One
of us is away, we go to bed at the same time and we talk. That's part of our time together. But I think what works most is that we're always able to laugh. There was the one time, and I'm not exaggerating, we've been together, 15 years or longer?
Yeah, longer than that.
The one time we actually had an argument, like an argument, like voices were raised and we were angry. We happened to be in the bedroom. I'm going to tell this story. We happened to be in our room because when you have little kids and you need to have a serious discussion, you go in your room and you shut the door because you don't want to do it in front of them. And it happened to be bedtime, and we were both getting ready for bed, and we were arguing too. And it was, I don't even remember what it was.
I don't either.
It was stupid, whatever it was.
I know what made me the angriest.
You didn't think I was listening to you.
No, you implied that I didn't listen to you.
Oh, that's right. I implied that he didn't listen. Now, we were getting ready for bed, so Mark just happened to be naked at the moment when he really got angry. So he's standing there, and he's like not even paying attention to the fact that he was in the middle of changing clothes for bed.
I didn't realize this was going to be a naked podcast.
And he was legitimately hurt by me implying that he didn't listen. And then I just started laughing. I couldn't help it because he was naked and angry. And I started laughing. And to your credit, you didn't get more mad. You started laughing too. No. And that was the last time you and I have ever raised our voice at each other.
And that was in the house we used to live in.
Like, that's the last time we ever had an actual argument. Yeah. And it really was a misunderstanding. Yeah. It wasn't really an argument. We just don't. You're the most important person in my life. Oh. I don't want to hurt your feelings. And if I'm actually upset with you, I want to talk to you about it, because the idea of me ever driving you away is devastating to me. I just can't imagine you not being around. And nothing has ever made me that upset. No. Like, it just doesn't matter. And there's nothing I can't laugh at.
And then I'll
make fun of whatever. I don't care.
Like,
so we just laugh.
I turned 50 and I'm like, we should do a podcast. And you were like, okay, we'll do a podcast. No one will listen to that podcast, but we'll do a podcast. And then the world ended, and it was like, wow, thank goodness we have this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, we've heard from people that have said, you got us through COVID.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite. You guys got us through COVID, certainly.
We were so isolated and stuck in a house with a bunch of kids who were legitimately upset that they were missing out on their senior year of high school, their freshman year of college. Their social lives were gone. They didn't know if they were going to have lives. You know, they were just about to really become people, and the world was ending at the same time. And we were stuck with them in here. And without you, without people out there actually listening and laughing and sending us emails and us being able to know that we were being helpful to somebody.
Yeah.
It meant so much. It meant so much.
I cannot believe how real and affected it made the whole podcast.
Yep.
It just definitely, we got so many comments from people who were like, I'm sick and I'm going through cancer treatments, but I feel completely alone because I'm in a hospital with everybody in masks on, but I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Or I'm driving to the hospital where I work.
Yeah. Jess Dilbardi just said she was in the middle of a hard pregnancy.
Yeah. And I mean, but that's true of any media. There's podcasts that I feel that way about too, that when I've had a hard time, I've listened to an episode of a podcast that I like and that I know is going to make me laugh. And it just makes a difference. I think there's something about it being in your ears too.
Never mind the fact that we've realized that we're funny. Though our children said, even just the other day, we're like, you guys aren't funny. I'm like,
okay,
people on the internet have said we're funny.
Yeah, I can show you some Reddit comments that would disagree with you. Thank you very much. So, I'm not going to say this right. Mojoista?
Yes.
On Reddit.
From Reddit.
Yes. Ask a question that I think is a good place for us to kind of now that we've been all, oh, you're my sweetie.
Yes.
saying that it's a fun thing that we do. How do we prevent ourselves from seeing it as a job and make sure that we still have fun with it? And I got to tell you, if it ever stopped being fun, we'd just stop.
Yeah. If it's not fun, and you guys know us who have been listening to us, there have been times where we're like, we're not having an episode this week. We can't manufacture the fun.
Either life has overwhelmed us, or there was that one Father Brown.
Yeah,
where
it was way too sad.
I struggled. I was like, I gotta find. There's got to be something in here, something in this episode that I can laugh at. I've got to tease out some kind of ridiculous, ironic, silly thing, and I couldn't. And I struggled with it several days, and I finally just said, we just can't. I just cannot talk about this episode in any way that will be worthwhile. And we just stopped. But the other thing about it, and I know it can, from the outside, it probably seems like we do a lot of work. And we do a lot of work. Mark especially does a lot of work. I said do. We do a lot of work. But it's actually kind of like our date night. As weird as that sounds. We record on Saturday
Everybody
mornings.
gets to come to our date night.
It's kind of weird that we invite thousands of people to our date night, but it is an excuse for us to sit down with each other for a few hours a week with nobody else in the room and laugh. And that's, I mean, even if everybody stopped listening, I would still want to do it because it would mean that we get to do it together.
There's the chat's about 90 seconds behind us, and we're getting stories about people who went through really tough times, and we love you. We love you all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It matters to us a lot that we were able to help, and it's mutual.
Yeah.
It's mutual.
For me, I work full time, but I got to tell you, my job is not that hard.
Shh, don't tell anybody he works with.
And my job is really not that stressful. Well, it's not stressful at all.
No.
So that helps. The fact that I do a comic book company and a podcast is kind of weird and wild to people, because like there are works that I just got to plan stuff right away.
You are super organized and like really disciplined, though. I think that's how you don't get stressed out about it because you're on top of it.
I do want to bring up that mental health has really been a focus for me for the last 2 years, and I've worked really hard on it. Working at the school that I worked at, for any of a number of reasons, did a number to my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And when I left, I had PTSD from that.
Yeah, you did for a while.
And I've managed to get through that and am really kind of pleased how things are going. And in the sense of I'm not worried about, are there people listening? I'm not worried about the numbers. I'm not worried about nobody's going to like my comic. I'm not worried about those things anymore. And the level of mildly successful that I've attained in all my endeavors is perfect.
It's
I
good
really
enough.
don't like, people say, what if you sold 1 million comics? I would go insane if I sold 1 million comics because I'd have to pack them all. But only to have a child come in when I pack the final one and go, can I help?
Yeah. Well, and along the same lines, if ITV or Bentley had come to us and said, will you be the official Midsummer podcast? I think we would have said no.
Well,
because we don't want that pressure.
We
like being able to just hang out with you guys.
If we did, it would have been a leave of absence from this, and it would have had been creative. Well, we would have just moved Maniacs onto that.
If we could have done it exactly the way we do it now, and they would have just put it out, maybe. But that's not what it would have been.
I also work insanely hard at making my workflow as efficient as possible.
It's crazy.
And so
he has to-do lists out the wazoo.
So because of that, like, so this is, and I should put up a version of this. I edit at 1.5 times speed. So it
through speakers out loud. It's hilarious.
It's like chipmunks. But as you do it, you become accustomed to
So
it.
you stop hearing it like chipmunks.
So I stop hearing it like chipmunks. So I do think the podcast itself works pretty efficiently now, especially when we're doing hour-long episodes of Poirot
Yeah.
and hour-long episodes of Murdoch.
Anything that's short,
Yeah.
that's an hour long rather than an hour and a half or 2 hours long, that helps for sure. But you've got like the workflow down, so it can still be fun. I don't want to end our time talking about like productivity and organization.
No,
But
no.
we just have a good time. And if it
Yeah.
ever stopped being fun, we would stop doing it. But for 4 years, we have laughed our asses off.
Yeah, that's
And the fact that anybody else finds it funny is just a bonus.
and the other thing is when we take time off, I'm often like, okay, it's time for a podcast.
yeah. Yeah.
Because we haven't got that out
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah. We need to go be silly in a room together for a while and record it.
YouTube is telling me now would be a good time to insert an ad. No, YouTube, I will not be inserting an ad.
We don't want to insert an ad.
Oh, official Midsummer Podcast ads. Oh, dude.
Don't get me started.
Why did you do that?
Anyhow,
Okay.
I think that's probably a good place to wrap up.
Well, I want to talk about what we got coming in the future couple of episodes because we have a busy 2 months coming up.
Everybody knows that.
Yep. So no episode next week because we're graduating children.
Yes.
The week after, we're going to do King of Clubs, which is season 1, episode 9 of Poirot. And then I'll be in Canada that week. So I won't be able to record. So no episode on the 20th. Then regular episodes will start up again 27th, the 3rd of June, and the 10th of June. And then I have to take a week off after that because I'm going to another convention because I got invited to a special.
But then through the rest of the summer.
Then through the rest of the summer, our plan is to do 3 or 4 weeks in a month because summer is our slow time.
Yep.
Everybody takes summer off,
Yep.
and we should take summer off. So
Not completely.
no,
And so
but
we'll finish season 1 of Poirot, and then we're going to do season 2.
right into season 2 of
And
Poirot.
when season 2 is over, we're not sure what we'll do.
We have
we
no
might
idea.
do a couple of one-off episodes of other shows, and then maybe we'll just dive into a Marple season. People have said they would like to see Marple. So
I would predict another user survey in an upcoming newsletter because
Yes.
those give us so much useful
it's really
information.
important to us that whatever we cover is easily accessible to everybody. We don't want you to have a subscription to something if we can help it. If it's something that you can find out in the wild on YouTube, whatever, that's preferable to us because we want as many people to be able to watch as possible. So that's how we decide. It's got to be cozy. It's got to be fun. It's got to be something we like, something we know
And
that we'll
that-
be able to talk about.
Like we
and is
heard
accessible.
overwhelmingly to do full series,
Full seasons. They didn't.
full seasons.
People didn't like it when we
Yeah.
hopped around
Yeah.
between different shows because they had trouble keeping up.
And so, that when you fill out those surveys, we go over everything with a fine
it
tooth
matters to us a lot.
because we get so much useful information.
And we want to have fun with you.
Yes.
If it's not fun for you, then what's the point?
So we return on the 13th. The 28th of April. That's now the 13th of May. Wow, it's been a day.
What day is it? I don't know anymore.
The audio things got me all screwed up and weirded out. We return on the 13th of May with Poirot, Season 1, Episode 9, The King of Clubs.
Mm-hmm. Always fun. Thank you all.
Thank you all
so
for
much for
showing
coming.
up on a Sunday afternoon and asking such great questions. We didn't get to them all, but I guess maybe we'll have to do something
Do
like
it
this again
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Our fifth official anniversary is July 29th, 2024. And that's when the first podcast went out. It'll be
So maybe
5
we'll
years.
have to do another trivia night or something for that.
Yeah, we should do trivia night. That went over really well.
Trivia was fun.
Yeah, that was super fun. So.
All right.
So thank you all for listening, especially 100%ers who have listened to every episode. Wow, you must be tired of the sound of our own voices.
We really appreciate it, and we love every one of you. It's been a blast, and we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and we're so pleased with all the listeners from like Alabama to Alaska, from Minnesota to Maine, and all
outside
parts
of the U.S. too.
in between.
Yeah.
So,
all right, have a good one. Bye, Maniacs.
Bye, Maniacs. Love you all.
Are we good?